You're welcome back to the polls. Let's head to the Ashanti region now, where an acute water shortage has hit parts of the greater Kumasi metropolis, leaving thousands of residents scrambling for water after days of dry taps. For 3 consecutive days, households across the city have had no running water, forcing families and businesses to depend on hand-dug wells and other underground sources to survive. The regional office of the Ghana Water Limited blames the crisis on unstable electricity supply to its key treatment facilities. Power fluctuations at the Barakesi and Owabi treatment plants have significantly reduced water production and distribution. According to the utility provider, low voltage volumes at the plants have made it impossible to pump and supply adequate potable water to affected communities. The Electricity Company of Ghana has linked the power cuts to localized cable faults and transformer challenges. We can now listen to some frustrated residents in Kumasi.
We struggle getting water in Atunsu. We are all carrying gallons to go fetch water. There is always light out and the taps are also not flowing. We are really suffering.
I say me fridge, I say me TV, I say me fine na. Sunday no hammer.
From Sunday to today, the taps aren't flowing. I went to this house to go fetch this bucket of water. It's not easy getting water lately.
Oh, sorry. Now pen temo pesel. Ebia onwa eduane kakra bia na se bibi safe de. Unko chim tap na be ne de kra nemba.
Sometimes you would wake up early to try to cook and bath, but you would meet the taps not flowing. This delays us in getting to the workplace early.
But baby I konsu no so emu wa pa. Ansa na yenye nsu se yesa emboa. Ntinu nso no mututu ni de o say je o consider because as I pass me late crying, I don't see me near the was we an income until no messy near the other. My bread would drink so much all the time. Yes, I'm sure. What?
Emmanuel Bright Kweku has been monitoring the water shortage situation in parts of Kumasi and joins me for more. Emmanuel, tell us just how bad the situation is. Do the people have water now?
Well, Kenneth, as we speak now, we are having quite a number of the households in the Ashanti region or the greater Kumasi not having access to potable or tap water in their various homes. Personally, I have had my share of this situation. In fact, yesterday, when I got home, I saw my tap flowing, but unfortunately this morning it hasn't flown, I've not had the water flow through my tap. And also, I've even called back home to find out from them, but they tell me that still the taps aren't flowing. So when you come to Kumasi, you're having a session of the Atonsu, the Amekum, and even Eija and other places, and still having this particular challenge. From the many businesses, especially that are within this enclave, they are struggling to find water to do whatever activity they must perform. In fact, some of them would have to rely on these dugouts within the community, that's a well or an underground source of water, to do whatever that they need to do. And so for Kumasi, the situation is quite dire. Many of them, in fact, some of them tell us that they would have to go days without bathing. And so that's how bad the situation is, especially here in the Ashanti region.
What reasons have officials of the Ghana Water Limited, who you have been engaging, been telling you?
All right, so Kenneth, in fact, I've been speaking with some sources at the Ghana Water Limited, and they explained that in the last couple of days, we've had some power fluctuations in the Ashanti region, and so power supply to the Owabe and Barakesi treatment plants is quite a bit of a challenge. They're having low voltage levels in terms of the power that goes to the Owabe treatment and Barakesi treatment plant. And so, you need pressure to pump these water or distribute them to the various homes. But because the voltage is quite low, it's becoming difficult for them to pump water to the various homes. And so even when you go to some of these homes, you just have the water not so quite flow well as it usually would. In terms of the pressure, it's just some small quantities dripping out of the faucet. And so it's quite difficult for them at their end to pump water and the high pressure to the various homes. In fact, the ECG has been explaining that they've had a bit of technical challenges in the region, but as of yesterday, they are sure that this situation has been resolved. But as we speak now, the water situation here in the Ashanti region, you're having a lot more of the people struggling to find water, but we do not know whether, because the ECG says it has restored the water and the power situation in the Ashanti region, hopefully at the end of the Barakesi and Owabe treatment plants, we should have water flowing through the various homes.
Emmanuel Bright-Kweku with that update from Kumasi. Thank you very much. Well, let's now bring in Stanley Mate. He's the head of communication at the Ghana Water Limited. Grateful for your time this afternoon. We've now been made aware that it is as a result of the power fluctuations. That is why the water shortage is happening. But what immediate steps is Ghana Water Limited taking to restore stable water supply to affected areas in the greater Kumasi metropolis?
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. We all know that Kumasi metropolis is served from two sources, the Wabi treatment plant and then the Barakesi treatment plant. So what we are doing is that because it's the main challenge is the power fluctuation, if Wabi is on for even an hour or two, we try to produce something, and so we can even use private tankers to serve, especially the essential service providers. If Barakesi is on and Wabi is off, then we try to produce a little. So any opportunity that we get, we try to produce and then to pump into the system so that people could have access to water. And that is why we realize that some places will have water for a while and then goes off and all that. We are working seriously with the Electricity Company of Ghana, okay, and they have assured us that it should be over anytime soon. And then we can resort to normal treatment and supply. Thank you.
And why were the Barakesi and Owabe treatment plants not equipped with reliable backup power systems to prevent disruptions during electricity instability?
So equipments are such that they need a certain voltage and it should be stable. Okay, that will be very difficult if you are using any other source apart from the national grid. So we try to use the national grid, and so that we can get that stable and that high voltage of power that we require to pump our to energize our machines, our equipment. Okay, so it is not easy for you to just use. It is not an easy thing to just use any other plant. And you also need a certain size of an energy plant before you can get to that voltage. That is almost impracticable. So that is the main situation. We always will have to work with ECG to enable us get the stable and then the high voltages that we expect to power equipment.
Impracticable, but not impossible, no?
Like I'm saying, it is always better, okay, to use the national grid other than using a plant.
Okay.
Because if you want to use a plant, one, it will increase the cost of production. Two, you may not get stabilized power. And then what happens is that your equipment, it will affect the performance of equipment to the extent that you may lose them.
Right.
Our pumps are quite expensive. And then
but Stanley, I wasn't saying that you should use the plant as your main source to pump water. I was asking of a backup plan in cases like these that we are witnessing that could come in handy, no?
This has nothing to do with Ghana Water equipment. Our equipment are functioning all right with the exception of energy.
Okay.
Energy is provided by ECG, VRA, and the energy sector. And we expect them also to do what they have to do. So we also concentrate on the supply of water.
And how long does Ghana Water Limited expect the water shortage to last? And what specific timelines can residents rely on for full restoration?
If the energy sector is able to provide energy as we speak, we'll start producing an hour after.
Have you been engaging the ECG?
I said initially that we're working together with them and working around the clock and assiduously to ensure that this is completed on time, and then we can have power to treat for the people. They're sister utilities, and we work together anytime.
You did say that indeed, but you didn't give it specific timelines. That is why I'm bringing it back.
So it becomes very difficult for me to say so because one, I'm from the water sector. They are the engineers on the ground, and we can only support them to do what they have to do.
Stanley Mate, thank you very much. He's the head of communications at Ghana Water Limited there, speaking on the water shortage that have hit parts of the greater Kumasi metropolis. Well, let's bring you back to the Greater Accra region because less than a week after a baby allegedly was stolen at Mamprobi Polyclinic, is expected to be discharged today from Kolebu Teaching Hospital after doctors confirmed the child is now in good health. The baby was admitted after developing infections while in the custody of the suspect, who is currently in police custody. Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namu-Bolate, says the child is responding well to treatment and will be discharged today, adding that psychological care will be provided to the parents following the incident.
Let me express the appreciation of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Her Excellency Professor Nana Bajima, and Her Excellency Lordina Mahama for the love that Ghanaians have shown, especially the media as well. It's very overwhelming and it's been very supportive for the parents. As we are here today, God has been gracious to baby, and today he's going to be discharged. He's been nursed back to health, and mother is also doing well. She's also received some psychological support as was promised, and so I'm sure any moment from now they'll be going to the house. And we also had the directive from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama that we pick up the bill, and so by the grace of God we picked up the bill, and everything is settled. The parents to go home with their baby. And the joy of all of this is that the baby is well, and so you can continue rejoicing and singing praises because baby is doing well. They will be coming for periodic review, and I'm sure that by God's grace they will continue to have health.
Two quick questions. The first is
That's the Gender Minister Agnes Namu-Bolate, who further indicated that the suspect is expected to be before court next week as proceedings begin to ensure justice for the family.
You know the procedure. The suspect is still in police custody, and I'm likely to visit her from here. And so I'll check on her as well. And what I know is that they are going to start the court hearing, I think somewhere next month. And so she's in police custody.
Transport Minister Joseph Nikpe has clarified that the renaming of Kotoka International Airport does not require parliamentary legislation, noting that the airport was originally named by decree in 1969. He said airports in Ghana have historically been renamed through executive instruments, citing similar changes in Kumasi and Tamale, and described calls for a bill to back the decision as unfounded.
You remember that it came as a result of the NLCD 309. It was a decree that was brought to set a trust to cater for the families of Kotoka and other soldiers who were killed along that time. And it happened that he was killed at the forecourt of the airport. And so if you look at the decree, its intention was to set a trust to take care of the families of the soldiers who were killed. And so if you look within it, they decided to honor him by introducing or renaming the airport after him. But the purpose of the decree was to establish a trust. Now, there was not any legislature in Parliament to operationalize it. And so there is no anything in it for Parliament to amend or Parliament to legislate. It was an executive order that was given to recognize somebody who was killed at the forecourt of the airport. And the rightful thing is for us to come to an executive announcement again that the name is reverted to its original name.
Well, the Transport Minister also noted that the renaming of the airport has taken effect and that the new name will soon be reflected in official documents and signage at the airport.
Now, over the days, you will see that Kotoka is undergoing some kind of rehabilitation and some kind of upgrade. We are looking at turning or making Terminal 2 play a dual purpose, international and domestic. And so if you go to the Terminal 2 today, you will see work ongoing seriously. And you are aware that plans are far advanced to construct a connecting concourse between Terminal 2 and Terminal 3. All this would have brought some kind of renewal to the airport that will go along with these signages, these names, and all these things. And so we are looking at following all the systematic arrangements that are proper. The good thing is that we want to respect the Ghanaian people by allowing them to know first that the name is going to be changed, and then subsequently we will take the procedure of doing the change of the name completely, the signages, the directions, and all those things.
Well, Joseph Bukari Nikpe also talked about whether this will attract any new financial burden on the state.
There's nothing to change at the international level. The only thing to change is the signages and the billboards that we have. But Kotoka, as a company, they already have the vendors who produce their letterheads on daily basis for them. So it's not a new contract. It's just a matter of Kotoka is now out. The same vendors who were doing their letterheads, their stamps, are the same companies to continue to now change. Just a removal of Kotoka and it will be Accra. So what will be the cost there? We are already renovating the airport. We are already doing construction of the airport to make it function properly. And some of those things would have been destroyed and rebranded. It's just a matter of the Kotoka out and the Accra in. So what will be the cost? Even though there will be some cost to it, but it is not that cost that somebody will care about. It is going to be a minimum because of the renovation. The costs involved will be very, 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 very small as compared to other airports that you have to deal international, regional, and national.